Ladies and gentlemen, Kenny asked, dude, what happened to you? I'm used to 3 to 4 videos a night when weather is bad, and it's definitely pretty weathery out. What happened? We are all in this together. And yes, this will be the first video I put up since the 26th. Because, as I pointed out, I do believe a couple times, on the 26th, we would get the Black Moon Lilith energy, which always comes before the new moon, and it can be pretty rough, and I get a lot of negative energy sent my way. And then tonight would be Devil's Night into Halloween, Mercury retrograde, and then on November 1st we get Mars in the sky. Mars reappears. And so, in my almost 7 years of doing THORnews, trying to bring you guys the truth as I see it, I've been under attack a lot. And so, I try and reduce my profile and my aggro around the time where the parties that may or may not like me get very sensitive. This is a neutron star. This is one of the most fascinating things I've ever seen at THORnews. It's from like 2012, 2013, 2014. Man, wouldn't it be great if we got new telescopes and shit? Oh crap, I already cussed. We are in the cusp of Scorpio season. I hope it is treating you well. Yeah, it's a crazy night. And, you know, if you're Planetary Defense Commander, you got to be aware of such things and such energies. So I hope everybody is ready for Devil's Night. Let your heart shine on, baby. And though the hurricanes seem to be under control, the overall weather through October has been incredibly wild and varied, with mixed precipitation depending on where you're at. Either heavy snow, heavy interest rate cuts, heavy puppy dog eyes, heavy fire and ash, and heavy rain in some parts. And due to all gas giants being on the same side of the sun, I have noted you get earthquake and volcano activity along the Ring of Fire and in the United States of America during those periods. So we would have a 75% chance of a major volcano eruption along the west coast of the United States, Canada, specifically California in 2019, and then probably 95% chance of 2020. And as of right now, it seems like there's no real plan other than continue status quo. Heavy Brexit. It's been pushed back to December 12th. I think they're going to have another election because the first election wasn't election-y enough. When the sun acts weird, earth weather acts weird, and people act strange. And so during this solar minimum, we have been getting hit by an increased amount of solar wind, which hits our magnetic field and goes into the auroras at the top and the bottom of our planet. And then I'm pretty sure they go into the core and they make the planet grow. And then you get volcanoes and earthquakes and stuff. Science disagrees, but really all they've been paying attention to for a while is carbon and then a carbon tax. And so sometimes you gotta look outside the obvious asterisk. What am I talking about here? Oh yeah, things are strange. Bernie Reno, the guy who taught me about negative troughs, is saying, wow, negative trough late Thursday night, barreling across New York. 70 to 80 knots, LLJ from NJ to New England, damaging squall line along eastern rain band, especially Philadelphia and northern to New England. In particular, eastern New England looks most vulnerable due to location timing of negative trough. And you know what? I've had enough negativity. In 2019, for the last decade, since 1999, and really, you know, my whole life to last me 10 lifetimes. And honestly, it is really rude to try to start a fight while I am dancing. I dance like a neutron star and I smell like a gas giant. Now we're taking a live look at trade negotiations with China. They've taken an interesting turn. Sure do hope everybody can work it out, because together is the only way to do it. And I hate sound like a broken record. I would much rather sound like the greatest vinyl you've ever heard. Melissa Constanzer. Snow will end up near or around Chicago tonight, with more snow in Wisconsin this week. I was born in Illinois. My grandparents were from Wisconsin. And that looks like a big blue giant snow dick. And by that, I mean weather detective. Okay, I didn't. Man, Steve is on rails. I know. You're like, that looks like a proton arc. I'm like, words, they can trip us up. But that is definitely a Steve. It's like a singular, total, energetic, variable energy. I made that up. April Glazer, PG&E, is supposed to be highly regulated. I dug into how it is and isn't, and no one wants to make a decision about what to do as fires keep roaring across California. And part of your job, my job as Planetary Defense Commander, is to remind y'all that after the wildfires stop, we will get the rains, the heavy, heavy rains. Forrest Gump said comfortable shoes were key to life. Danny from Rojo's Gardening, Schumann residence today. It was yesterday. And yeah, that's lit, bro. That is some energy. Yeah. And I don't know. What is Schumann resonance? I think it's a form of energy. But though we are in a solar minimum, the sun is always active. Sometimes words can create oversimplifications of very complex things. Engineer Irene Quiores, another coronal mass from the southwest side of the sun on October 28th. Kitty has a heart in her mouth. I mean, it's shaped like a heart. Or is that more like the Enterprise? Questions to ponder. Yeah, so for 7 years, I've been talking to you guys about us all working together. And now, almost 7 years in, I find myself in a bit of a purgatory between the power, a.k.a. the ruling class, and the people. And I'm like, oh man, what next? Zero hedge, the Federal Reserve's balance sheet, up $200 billion in 1 month from repo operations. So this is interesting. And markets are hitting all-time highs. And that's why I'm saying that. If they're going to continue to pump money into the system to stay in front of compounding interest of all global debt, then it would be best to use a large portion of that money to improve all things, infrastructure, and all things that consist of a balanced society, like healthcare, education, food, and a plan, because Earth is like a summer camp. And the system we have now is incredibly outdated. But life is like wave after wave after wave of challenges. And you know what? That's pretty much why I started Asteroid Fight Club. And I've been kind of sad about romance and my own personal... I don't even know the word. And so, yeah, it's been wild the last few days. Rain, snow, blackouts, fires, heavy winds, and there have been wind events all over the planet. Cranky Weather Guy, the king of weather Twitter, letting us know we got another big storm coming that will probably head to the northeast, and the northeast will probably be picked on through the winter. Looks like Chris and Tay got married, so send them a gift, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, man. 7 years at THORnews. Well, technically on November 23rd, 2019. 7 years of me being in the middle of saying, like, when Obama was president, being like, don't necessarily trust what the political system and the media are telling you, and then now with Trump saying don't trust the political system and what the media are telling you. It's all very complex. And when Obama was in office, half the country thought he could do no wrong, and Trump's in office, half the country thinks he can do no wrong, and I've got to be the guy in the middle. And then on top of that, I'm saying stuff like volcanoes and the James Webb Space Telescope will never launch. And man, how do we get the oil guys to work with the Silicon Valley guys and the banker guys and not go to like transhuman biogenetic chemical resurgence AI gray goo spazzy? I'm over here, doing the best I can representing the poorest person on the planet all the way up to the richest person and all the animals. I'm like, man, I'm so sick of this foxhole. I want to get out and go do something. Am I going to get any rewards? Not that I did this for rewards, because like if we don't work together, then every plan is going to like totally fail. And people are like, that's not true. And other people are like, dude, Jesus says we all have to fail as a civilization. I'm like, what? No, that's not true. Man, my father, who passed away in 2006, when I was a kid, he took me snow skiing because he was on ski patrol in Chicago. Then he moved to Colorado. And then he would take me skiing in Colorado. I miss snow skiing. But one time I went cross-country skiing in Minnesota. It was so cold, man. I don't think I'd ever been that cold my entire life. And then it's like, this is not skiing down a mountain. This is just like walking with sticks on your feet. But now looking back, we had fun. Although I did get to ride snowmobiles in Minnesota. That was amazing. It was way cooler than cross-country skiing. I bet if I'd had, although I was like 13, if I'd had peppermint schnapps, then the cross-country skiing would probably be more enjoyable. But who knows? But yeah, I do love auroras. See, you got like the hot fire over here, and then you got all the cold stuff happening here, the cold snap. And then you got all the rainy stuff over here. And then stuff's happening on other sides of the planet. Matmo is about to make landfall in Vietnam as a severe tropical storm. Winds are 45 miles per hour, and tropical storm force winds are on the shore already. It should make landfall in a few hours. Flooding and gusty winds are the main threat from this system. Dada Boo, the Florida wave master, is letting us know Puerto Rico is getting some pretty good waves. As I imagine, the wave events that are happening across the planet are also creating wave events in the waters, including the Great Lakes. So I did a thing when I started THORnews almost 7 years ago. When I first started, I said I'm going to make a video every week for a year. I'm not going to worry about views. I'm not going to worry about anything. I'm just going to make the best fun, cool videos I can for a year and then see what happens. And oh, Nelly. And then after that, I was like, all right, 7 years. Let's see what happens after 7 years. So now life is like forcing me to think about all that I've done and where I'm at now. Did I mention I'm sick of this foxhole? Am I going to get to celebrate on my 7-year anniversary? Like almost every year, I had a date for that night, except for last year, because it got weird after the Christmas season of 2017. So yeah, I've been the last few days I've been kind of resting, kind of sad, kind of keeping a low profile, and sleeping a lot. And I finished all of Entourage on HBO. I gotta say, that show was absolutely fantastic and only gets better in time. Plus, it's hilarious and I love the characters. But I missed you guys. And y'all are amazing. Awesome. Super and duper. Fantastic. Incredible. True story. I wouldn't be doing this if it weren't for y'all. Trust me. And I don't know. It's been kind of a downer lately, And so, one of the big things I've talked about, though I used to talk about it more at THORnews, is the fact that we need a national power grid because the free market is not doing a great job of taking care of the people at all times, man. And so you can call it nationalism or socialism, whatever the hell you want, but it's clear that we need a national power grid that for national defense purposes, as your planetary defense commander, there's no excuse not to have a state-of-the-art power grid given to people at cost. And saying shit like that is dangerous. Saying you might have a volcano erupting this year, next year, over the next 3 years in California. That's dangerous in an unregulated economic system. Do you understand that? I missed you, though. Yeah, totally. Happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas. Let's have a great New Year. What a year 2019 has been. And then we not only going to reflect back on the whole year, but then the last decade and the last 20 years. And, oh, man. It's Scorpio season. Next season is Sagittarius season. And I'm a Sagittarius, and I'm hilarious and awesome and educated. But by the school of hard knocks and life, although I did go to college twice, I'm going to talk about God is great, and you guys are pretty fantastic as well. God bless everyone. I will talk to you guys in the near future. I missed you. Stay cool. But yeah, as a Christian nation, our capacity for forgiveness is sort of garbage. We need to do better at that. We have to recognize we all have flaws, we all have sins, we've all made mistakes, and that the only way forward is working together as one Earth family. And one American family, dude. We can't just throw away states and hate people based on political preference, race, gender, sex, sexuality, baseball team. May the best game happen tomorrow night between the Astros. You have the greatest ballpark in the world, in my opinion. Though you can disagree, and I'm cool with that. And the Nationals. It's like Washington versus Houston. Okay. And so, since I've moved here, I've been in Houston for 3 years. And we've had a hurricane, won a World Series. We were voted the coolest city in America. And now we're on the cusp of a second one. But, it's just a game. Although it's a very serious billion-dollar game. And it's an American pastime. And I love it. Nolan Ryan, Pudge Rodriguez forever. May we just get a great, fair game, not decided by the umpires. And that all baseball fans win. Lucky to make it this far. This is the one weird thing about sports. You have all these teams, and there can only be one winner at the end. And everybody else goes home a loser. And it's also been economics. And I think that's created some legacy problems that we have to solve together. But hey, we were made for this. Great. It's weird, the guy who wrote Thor for Marvel Comics has been doing it for almost 7 years now. I haven't had a chance to read it yet. I'll have to check it out. I hope it's good. All right. I love you. God bless everyone. Stay cool. I'll talk to you. I'll get less weird. I think, I know. We'll see. Okay. Women. You gotta love them. And I do.